Hi, boys and girls. Thank you for checking in with your learning for today. This week, we're going to review what we talked about last week with the components of writing a letter. So those important things that we need to include when we write a letter to somebody. We're also going to talk about some different types of letters that we can write. And then I'm going to challenge you to write one of those letters this week. Alrighty? So let's get started. I'm going to read behind you our example letter from last time. It says, November 30th, 2020, Dear friend, how are you? I'm doing well. Have you learned anything new? I am learning to write a letter. Your friend, Miss Neal. Awesome. So my friends, there are some parts of this letter that we need to help label, and we talked about these parts last time that we were together. You'll notice each part has a box around it. So this part is a part of the letter. This one is a component of the letter. This big box is a component of the letter. And this here and here. Okay? So let me show you some words. And I'm wondering if you can help me put these words in order. We've talked about the word signature, and a signature is your own name that you sign. So a signature is one of these things that we'll need to label. We'll also need to label a closing where the letter comes to the close at the very end. We'll also need to figure out what part of this letter behind us is the body of the letter. We also have our heading or date and our greeting. So let's see if we can narrow down some of these parts. Boys and girls, do you remember I talked about with writing a letter how just like a person, I'll stand up and do it again. Last time I talked about how I'm a whole person and most of my body is here, right? The middle is the body. So if we look at our letter, which part do you think would be the body? If it's the same, just like a person, how our body's in the middle, where's our body in the letter? If you're thinking it's this box, you are correct. Let's check it out. The body. Now, we'll also need to figure out which word goes where. We've done our body, so we'll get that one out of here. How about our greeting, my friends? A greeting is a fancy word for hello, or when you meet somebody, you greet them with some words. You could say hi, you could say nice to meet you, you could say hello. So if we have a greeting in our letter, it is also that same part in the beginning when we're greeting the person that we write to. We're saying hello and greeting the person that we're writing to. So let's clear this spot and see, did we get it right? Greeting. We sure did. The next word I have here is heading. Now, boys and girls, if you're not quite sure, let's see if we can figure it out. We talked about how the body of the letter is here in the middle, just like our body's in the middle. Now, if we talk about our heading, where is our head on our body? It's at the very tip top, isn't it? Make sure your head's at the top too. So if we look at our letter, I'm wondering, boys and girls, which part might be our heading at the very tip top of the letter? Now we already got our greeting, so we know it can't be that. And we already have our body. But what about here? Let's see if that's our heading. It is the heading and the date. So another way to remember that our heading comes at the very top, just like on our head on our body. So now, my friends, the last two words I have are my signature and my closing. Now I wonder which one has my name, because remember, a signature is when we sign our name. So it has to be the one that has my name. Let's see. Signature. The last one we have is closing. And a closing is the way that we close up our letter. And at the very end, see, we start at the beginning, we keep going, and at the bottom, we close it up to make sure everything's all together. There's our closing. Thank you for helping me label the parts of a letter. Remember, when you are working on your letters, that we need to include those 5 things. The heading at the tip top, the greeting comes next, then the big body, the closing, and the signature at the very end. All right. So hang tight. I'm going to switch my poster, and then we'll talk for just a few more minutes. All right. So now you can see we have our letter over here. Boop. And here is another poster we're going to talk about some reasons why we might write a letter. So in a letter, every single letter, no matter what kind of letter it is, they have to have those components. But here's the cool thing about letters is you can write different types of letters and it will change what the body says. So today we're going to talk about just 3 reasons and letters that we might write. The first one is a friendly letter or a pen pal. And let me tell you about this. This kind of letter is one that is just used to communicate with a friend or a pal. And this friend might be close by or far away. And these friendly letters, you can include lots of information about yourself. You can include information about something that you might want to know. You could ask a question. You might just be writing to say, hi, I really miss you, friend. And that's okay too. In a friendly letter, all those things are important. The second type of letter we might write is a thank you letter. Now let's think about it. Have you ever gotten a gift or had somebody help you and it felt so good that you wanted to say thank you, and you wanted to say thank you in such a special way that you wrote them a letter? And letters are super special in this way because we can keep them and hang on to them for a long time. So if you write a thank you letter to somebody, maybe grandma or grandpa, then your grandma and grandpa gets to keep that letter and they can read it whenever they want. And that's really special too. In our thank you letters, we are usually saying thank you for something specific. So it could be if someone gave you a gift, if someone helped you, if you got stuck and you needed some help and someone did, you just want to say thank you. It's a good way to do it. Okay, another way that we might write a letter is asking a question or asking for something. So I'm wondering, boys and girls, some of you that I checked in with this week told me about you wanted to write a Christmas list to Santa because you wanted to ask for some things. So that would be this third type of letter, is asking for something. All right, so any kind of letter that we use, whether it's a friendly letter, a thank you letter, or a letter where we're asking a question, they all need to have the date, the heading, a greeting, which tells us who that letter is for, the body that has all the information in the letter, and then at the very end, you'll need to have your closing and your signature, your name, so we know who it's from. Now, friends, this week we're going to spend some time writing a friendly letter and a thank you letter. So your job is to think about who you might want to write a friendly letter to, and then get writing. What might you want to tell your friend? What might you want to ask your friend? Okay? I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have a great time writing, my friends.